All right, so I'm trying to do the live practice session again. I'm trying to practice. I figure as long as I'm practicing, I might as well try to talk to myself. And I find it easier to do that if I can at least pretend that someone else is cares about what I'm saying here, so that I can kind of organize my thoughts in my mind. And I want to keep on working as I practice with this color scheme, which I've been working on, which I know is quite colorful. You know, most people, when you see that much color, like on one side of the street, if you see that much color on one side of the street, and then like Freddy Krueger's walking on the other side, like sharpening his knives, you're like, I'll cross the street and hang out with Freddy Krueger. Yeah, I get it, but I really think this is actually helpful because it's giving us the color map. Oh no, I messed it up. Hold on a second. I'm trying to use my thing here. Okay, then it brings it down to there. So I'm trying to get the color map of the wheel, the color wheel, mapped on to the pitch wheel, and then practice kind of using it in practice. So each one of these notes has its own permanent color, and I can actually name the note A by that's the red note, and then this C is the yellow-green note, and so on and so forth. And I could see this pattern one start to visualize it by just the color sequence, which I'm not as good at because I've again kind of avoided color, I think, for most of my life. but I now I think you can train your eye like you can train your ear. So I should be able to see these differences between the blue and like these greens, and then use the actual naming convention, and I should be able to name the note, and even I'll give a distance color interval to show that as well. So I usually kind of start warming up just on the key of A minor, and this is just practicing my fingering, just to practice my fingering is just what I usually do in this kind of layout. So that's what I'll do. I'll just noodle around here, starting with the key of A, and I'll try to work out my pinky finger just to kind of, and then see if I can work in my fretboard practice up top. So let me try to tell a quick joke just to give you the tone of like the raw presentation here now, just to give you the kind of quality we're talking about here, because I'm practicing my jokes too. So I've been writing here. So did you know the humpback whale, the name of the official scientific term of the humpback whale, it begs the question, begs the question. I mean, you gotta ask, how do the other whales hump? Because I mean, if the humpback whale must have some kind of unusual or atypical copulation behavior for the whale, considering they named the entire species based on their mating behavior, So it begs the question. Okay, I kind of butchered that. Let me try it again. I know you've already heard it now, so it doesn't work if I try it again. That's why you need the editor. But let me just so I can try to get the wording down. The humpback whale, the name of the term humpback whale begs the question, how do other whales hump? I mean, the humpback whale must have unusual or atypical copulation behavior for a whale, considering like they named the entire species on their mating behavior, So it's got all right. That's the intro. ChatGPT can write better jokes than me, I know, but I still practice because I think it's good practice. Okay, So I'm going to be messing with this in A. I usually kind of warm up down here somewhere. And so I'm on this one. Let me see if I can add a square thing here. And I'm going to add, so I can see, I'm going to add this square thing up top so you can see it there. I'm working in Excel and I'm trying to fill the color. I've got a pick in my mouth, so I'm not talking as cleanly as I would otherwise. Oh, dang it. So the shape fill is going to be blank, and then I'm going to put a blue around the border, and then I'm going to make it like that size. So I'm kind of thinking of my pointer finger as the anchor around here, and then I'm going, and then I'm just kind of reaching from my pointer up to here, and then open A. And I usually kind of practice just my finger in there to start with. So this is going A to, or this is E to F, G. Just kind of practicing my rhythm. Let's try to go below it. So now I'm going to do a pattern where I hit this one, and then I bar that one off, and then I hit this one again, and I hit that one, and then I hit this one again, and I get that one, and then I go back one at a time, because that's pretty good finger exercise. So I try to practice that. So. Now I'm just switching the order of that same thing, which is all what I like to do is I just kind of get a pattern down and then try to blend it in with the other patterns. So then I can just switch the order, so when I get bored of doing that, then I'll just kind of switch the order of it if I have it down. Something that took me a while to do is to try to, when I have my pointer here, instead of just reaching up here in the open, I reach up here and slide it up. So that just gives me a different kind of rhythm pattern. And now I'm reaching up to the G. Reach up this way. Let me see if I can copy this. I'm going to copy that and paste it here. See, if I reach up here and then to this A, that's another A minor. So if I'm right here, I can close it out by doing that. I'm just kind of also, like, I hit the open string and I noodle back, letting this string go. So I'm just kind of going hammer on it, pull off. same thing up here, maybe. So if I move that up here, now my pointer finger is on the A. Sorry, I have a pick in my mouth again. My pointer finger is on the A, and then I can reach up here, and once again I can kind of slide this way and up here. It's not the same thing, because here I have the open A, sliding from the, I'm going to start to name these for my own memorization by the continents, so the Nashville number system. So I'm going to say that is the Phrygian. So I was on the Phrygian, or the 3 node, and then I was sliding up from the Locrian node, or the 7 node, to the Ionian node, or the 1 node, and then I was opening back up to the node that was my root, which was the 6, which was the A. But now I'm going to be on the 6, which is my tonic, which is the Aeolian node, and then reaching up to the Phrygian node, which is the 3rd, which is the 3rd. I'm not talking from this perspective of a scale degree, but it's the 3rd from a Nashville number system, a perfect, a permanent modal system, which is, I think, the better system to use. So it's going to which is the Phrygian node, to the Lydian node, and then I can of course reach up here to the Ionian node. And if I have the open Aeolian node, then I can do that, because then I'll just be ringing out 2 A's, and that's cool, even though they're kind of far apart in distance from an octave perspective. So if I kind of mess with that, if I reach up here to the Mixolydian, that's the Mixolydian node. So if I'm on the Aeolian and reaching to the Mixolydian, I'm going from the 6 all the way around to, that's the 7th away from it, right? Because it'd be 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to give me that, and then I'm going to go out of key, and then I'm going to go to the Lydian node, and then the Phrygian node, and then I'll go back into this pattern, sliding from the Phrygian node to the Lydian node with an open A, double A here. They're actually the same octave. And then, are they the same octave? No. Well, I don't want to get into that now. Locrian, and then here. So let's try to, that's all so now I have that many things to work with. I don't want too many things to work with, otherwise I get confused. So that's like, okay, I can just do I'm kind of hanging on that A, which is the Aeolian node. I can't get my pick in my pinky cozy spot. I'll put it in my mouth again. I'm going to go down here now to the one below it, which I can reach up to here, and then I've got this one here, which is that, compared to the Aeolian, it would be the 6 modal half steps away, which would be the 7th from a scale degree standpoint. So that's where you get, and then I've got this one, which is the perfect 5th away. It would be 4 modal half steps away from the Aeolian node, or the 6. So 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4 modal half steps away, which would be the 5th from a scale degree. So I can always reach down there as I'm doing this. So I'm kind of thinking of being up above it and doing this. But when I get bored of that, then I go down here. And when I do that, I can always hit this open A. I'm not worried about hitting the open A or even the open E, because it's cool because it's an A. So that'll just make it more powerful sounding. So, because I can be sloppy with it. It's not sloppy, it's perfectly wonky. You just don't get it, man. It's perfectly wonky. It's supposed to be that way. So now that my fingers are warmed up, I'm going to try the pinky side. So I'm going to try to anchor with something other than my pointer finger and try to work that in. So I've been working on like if I'm leaning back, like how many different ways if I'm around this A could I basically work, my fingers. Well, I could put my ring finger there and work above it. And then how far back could I reach? I can kind of reach back if I put my ring finger here, then I can reach back to like that C, and then I could slide forward, boom, boom, boom. It'll be out of key there, but again, as long as I'm working chromatically, then I should be cool with that. That should be cool. So I can be like, and then I could go all the way up to here, forcing it in with that kind of awkward finger so I can slide it up. So I could slide that all the way up to here. So I can go with one finger if I start here with my ring. And then I have my pinky hanging out over here, so I could add a little tension on the pinky, right? By putting it outside the key, boom, and back to here. That's out of the key, but as long as I go back to here, then I should be good, like playing with that a little if I wanted to. Or when I get to this bit, maybe I finish it off with this finger. I can't slide up that way, but it kind of gives you a finalized tone, and it's easier to do maybe. So meaning I slide up with this finger on my pointer, and then I put my ring finger right there to hammer it, which gives you that lead in to the note that's actually in. It's leading into the Phrygian note. So. Obviously I have this bit, so I can always kind of, like whenever I'm in one of these positions, if it's back here, then I have my middle finger that I can hammer on here, and my pinky, which I can put back here or play underneath it. So that position looks like most people would think of that as though you're looking at it from the position of the Dorian to the Aeolian, but no, I'm thinking about this as my anchor. My anchor, it's the same shape, but I'm thinking my anchor is the ring finger, and then I'm going to hammer on this note that's outside the key. But again, it's fine as long as I hammer on and I'm kind of emphasizing this note. Then it shouldn't take us out of the feel. And then I can slide that up to this Phrygian. So I'm going from this one, the middle, to the Phrygian. So that's, so obviously there's a ton of things I can do just with that shape, thinking about that as my anchor instead of this as my anchor. I could put like the same shape, and then of course if I'm anchoring with that finger, I could go below it right here and just think of like the double, what kind of combinations can I do double stop below. It's kind of hard to like do what I like. It sounds kind of, if I start with my ring finger, then I could reach maybe to that Aeolian? No. Come on. What are you? A giant? No. But I could reach to here, which is outside the key, and then lead in to here. And then when I get to here, I could try to squeeze it in. When I get to the Dorian, like if I was trying to go all the way with the chromatic thing, and try to squeeze it in, but likely I'm gonna have to stop like right there maybe, and then put my pinky down. So I can do something like. It's a little hard to pick underneath sometimes because it's a lot easier that this finger is gonna get in the way. So. If you're not practiced with that, it's kind of. Or I could just start from here, and I could start from here and then say I'm going to do it with my with my pointer finger. So now again, when you see the shape, most people would see that shape and say I'm thinking of it as this Ionian to be my pointer fingers on it. That's where my root, that's where my anchor is. But no, I'm thinking of this as my anchor. So see how the shape. All these shapes, there's so many little subtle variations just if you just think about like what's your focal point on it. So I'm thinking like, so then I can go. So now I'm just walking up, but instead of sliding, I'm putting my pointer finger down and then the ring finger and then the pinky under here. So that now I can walk through the same thing without the slide, and I can just kind of walk it like that. So, and I'm sliding my pinky out of the key a little bit, but then back into the key. And of course I could do a combination, sliding this one up. My fingers aren't as good at that. What if and then I could just do the same shape, right? And notice if I do that practice here, I could do that of course anywhere, right? I could say, well, what if I did that same kind of thing in a less well known of the guitar? I'm not on the tonic now, but I'm still in the key. So I'm thinking of myself kind of playing something that's in like the Aeolian node, but I'm playing around the Mixolydian part of the song or whatever, right? So now I'm thinking of myself, the root is on the Mixolydian, and if I'm reaching up, if I put my ring finger there, then I can say, okay, how far back could I reach from like the Mixolydian? Well, I can reach maybe back, not quite to the open, maybe like to that Locrian. So I got a Mixolydian to the Locrian, which is 5, 6, 7. So it's 2 modal half steps away, or a 3rd scale degree, right? So I could say, what's this one? Hopefully I said that right, I don't know. Now sometimes when I do this, I'm like, I kind of like to slide and say these two are in the key, so I'm going to stop sliding there, and then I'm going to switch my finger to slide from here to here, instead of sliding as far as I can go, right? So let me just show you that, like the 2 ways I could do that is I could say, let me slide this finger as far as I can go, like to right there, and then I'll finish it with this one because it's awkward to go there. So I'll finish it with this one. Or I could say, why don't I finish it on these two, just a different pattern. And if I play the open string, that's cool, because it's an open A. And then I'll play these two with this finger. See, if you just vary the patterns there, just from a rhythm standpoint, you can do like an infinite number of things, because now you've got 4 notes and an infinite number of patterns just with your same finger just rooting here, right? So I'm just changing the rhythm. Do that better, but you could see so I can kind of tie those together and get I could do it from any note that's in the thing, and I should be able to piece together rhythm patterns that don't sound too bad. I feel like that should be, in principle, possible. So, but what if so then I was starting over here and saying, well then the other finger I could use, let's start from my home spot and say, what if I did the same thing but with my middle finger there? See, if I put my middle finger there and I reach up to the same thing, so now I'm going from Aeolian to Dorian. So most people think it's going from Dorian to Aeolian, but no, this is my anchor, Aeolian, and then I'm sliding up. How far back can I reach? Maybe to here. But that gives you a different set of, now I've got 2 fingers on this side of the Aeolian that I can noodle around with possibly. So I could do more than just 2 strings. I could, put the finger down here, or I could reach the pinky up here. And then once I get to the destination, it's like, okay, I've noodled up to here. So now I can be like, okay, now what? Now what? Now you've got here, what are you going to do? Well, I got these 2 fingers here, and now I've got my ring finger and my pinky. So I could like do a noodle thing here, kind of thinking about this is my root, but now I'm leaning up forward this way. So this is kind of this looks unnatural. It's like, why would I do it that way? Because then I can lead into here, and now this is in the middle of my hand, right? So I can still work it back this way, and then I have my hand to work forward this way. So I can bring this back. And now once I'm here, I could try to So that's another area I've been kind of working on. And then of course if I can try to reach under this way with that same position with my ring finger here. So now instead of reaching back, which you normally would thinking of like this as your pointer, the root. I'm thinking of this as the root. Instead of having my middle finger here, I have my, instead of having I have my middle finger instead of my ring finger. I get my fingers mixed up. All right, so I could go. So now that's a little bit easier for me to slide underneath all the way over without switching my fingers. Right? I don't need to put a different finger down. I could slide, I can do more sliding all the way from here to here a little bit more easily that way. And then of course I can reach on this side. So let's see what I can do. So then if I try, so then that's, so that I did that finger. What if I, and then of course my pinky is the one which is usually the most awkward, but I've been working on it. So if I put my pinky there, and I think of it as my root, then of course I can't really go this way because it's my pinky. So I could, if I lean going this way, it's like I can reach as far as I can reach then this way. So again, the hard thing is, I'm sorry, I keep on saying again. I'm going to stop doing that. I've been watching people that say again a lot, and I get the tick, the again tick. You get in the again tick, again, okay? Again with the again tick. Stop it. How many times do I have to tell you again? Again. Okay. But the point is that when I lean back to whatever this is, then it's easy to think of that like that is my pointer's up here. So if I look at that shape, whenever you see the shape, people are going to say, well, I'm going to look at it from left to right, the way we read it and everything. So I'm looking at like a Locrian to an Aeolian. But no, I'm thinking of my pinky as the root. I'm shifting the perspective. It's a paradigm shift, people. Paradigm shift here. Everything changes, even though it looks the same, because the paradigm I have shifted the paradigm. Okay, so if I do that, I can get to like right here, and then I think it's nice to have this finger finish it. And then again, I think it's, oh, you see, I did it. I did the again thing again, you see? I can't stop. I can't stop it. It's a tick. It's a tick. It's a lunatic burrowing in my ear from the moon, who's trying to tell me that we didn't land on the moon because that's where the tick came from. It's a lunatic telling me that we didn't land on the moon. That's what they do. It's like, I'm not listening to that. So I could go back the other way. get some coffee here. So now I'm thinking, I can do that pinky thing, but over like in this position, so somewhere over here, so that I can try to do the same pattern back here, which means if I try to repeat the open A, then it's going to be a little, it should still be good, but it's not going to have like the double stop of two A's, you know. Let's try another joke just to get a joke practice in here, because that last one was a little short joke. Let's try a joke practice, switch things up. This music theory stuff is going to blow your mind, man. It's going to blow your mind. But don't worry. It's not going to like turn into a little spider terrorist who crawls into your ear asking your eardrum for like a brain juice latte just before they blow themselves and your whole mind up. No. And even if that did happen, the little spider terrorist would be blowing up your brain. You know, and this is going to blow your mind, man. They're totally different. You think they're this? No. This is, okay, let me try it one more time. I try to get the wording down. It's good. It's just that it was the delivery. That's why it's not as good. I need to practice. This new music thing is going to blow your mind, man. It's going to blow your mind. But don't worry. It's not going to turn into like a little spider terrorist thing who crawls into your ear asking your eardrum for like a brain juice latte just before it blows itself and your entire brain up. No. And even if that did happen, the little spider terrorist would be blowing up like your brain. And what I'm doing here, it's gonna blow your mind, man. They're totally different. It's like a spiritual thing, and that's like a physical. It's like a physical thing. We use the same word, but they're not really the same. Because they're different. Okay. I feel like it has potential, but whatever. Let's try another one. Let's try working this down here. The spider terrorists go. If they call a humpback whale a humpback, it begs the question: how do the other whales copulate? God. That's not good. Just don't understand. You don't understand. Okay. Let's try this C here. So now I'm going from here, boom, 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 with my ring finger, doot, 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 and then I can get to like right here, and then I'm going to switch to my middle so I can finish it off by sliding through the note that's not in the key to the note that's in the key with my ring finger. So that gives us Ionian to Dorian. If I go backwards, doesn't sound quite as cool from this point to have that open A. I don't feel like, but still, it still works. Back here, let's try to move it back to the Locrian. doesn't sound as cool there. And see if we can go from here back to here. It seems like it wants to end, but that's a note that's outside the key when I'm thinking of myself in A minor, so that's interesting. Try to change the key because I'm thinking if I want to practice with my worksheet up here. Let's go to the key of G minor. So if I went to the G minor, then I would say I want to find my system that I'm trying to do is I want to find the collection of notes around the related major. So I'd say, well, there's the G, and I would usually look for my shape. If that's the minor, then the major would be like right there, which would be a B. So the related major would be a B, which would be note number 3, is it? So that would give us, it would be A sharp B. So now I go from here, so now the B is the Ionian. That's not right. That's not right. Because it needs to be from here. What did I do wrong here? Now my brain is turned off. Now you look stupid. That's okay. I've done that before. I look stupid all the time. I feel like stupid is, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I would think that, well, no, that's note number 2. Yeah, there we go. Duh. idiot. Okay. That's not nice. Why do you talk to yourself like that? I don't know. Why do you hang out with that guy? Because he's in my head. Okay? I'd throw him out if I could. Let's go to the G. So now the color, so notice what happens is now the color is still an absolute red. So what I'm trying to play with now is what if I change the color template from this 4, which is based on the notes, but now I'm going to tie it to the nodes. That Ionian node will be green and red will be Aeolian. So I'm going to format paint it. This is my super cool programming, or not programming, it's just Excel. I don't know how to program, but I do Excel because I'm an accountant, and that's what it's the best music tool ever. So now I'm going to change it. So it's the same colors, but now I'm going to change it to a 2. All right. So what did that do? So now, yeah. So now the Aeolian is still. So now the Aeolian is red. So the A is now the A is not red. The Aeolian is red because we have a permanent color system based on the Nashville number system or the absolute nodes now. So this is what I would call position 1 now, which has the same color pattern as was here in what I would call position 1. Okay, so I'm trying to be able to use this more effectively, this color pattern thing. I'm not scared of you. I'm not scared of you colors. I've been terrorizing me for years. That's okay. That's okay. I see what's... If I survive Freddy Krueger nightmares, I can survive this. Let's see. Well, I was starting with this pattern. I'd like to go utilize that open G. We're going to say from here, boom, 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 alternating the open. It's kind of like my minor pattern that I like for G minor and D minor. So like... going right into this A G minor shape right here, boom, and then boom. So that's like my home shape, where my A minor shape was up here before. Now I got my G minor shape. And the thing that's cool about that shape is that I can open this up and I get an open G if I take my pointer off, which is cool. Just doing that gives you a nice little groove. And then I could put my other finger, as I have down here, on this one or any of these, so that gives me a little groove alternative. work the cajon in here. Let's try one more joke. I'll close this out. Let's see. I had another. Didn't I have another one? Oh, I see where it was. Here we go. Joke practice. Okay. I got my to-do list for tomorrow. I put together my to-do list, which I'm really excited about because two is not that many to-dos, So it's a short list, two do's. So some people would even argue that a list has to have a minimum of 3 things on it to actually be a list. Like 2 doesn't qualify, but whatever. I'm done with my to-dos list. That's why I have only a short to-dos list. To-dos is where I draw the line. And drawing the line, that's one of the to-dos on the to-dos list. So once I draw the line, then I only have the other do that I need to do on the to-do on the to. Okay, let me try it again. I get it better this time. Okay. I got my to-do list to do tomorrow, which I'm really excited about because 2 is not that many things to do. It's a short to-do list, with only 2 do's. Yeah, some people would even argue to be a list, you need a minimum of 3 things on it. But I'm like, whatever, dude, because I'm down with just the to dos on my to do list. That's why I only have a short to dos list. To dos is where I draw the line, man. To dos is where I draw the line, and drawing the line, that's one of the to dos on the to dos list. So I'm pretty much done. I'm almost done. Like, I'm almost done for the day, I feel like. Anyway, what if I went to like a D? If I went to a D just to do my other one, like here's the D that would be the, so if I was here, it would be this 9. So let's say I say 9 would give me the D Aeolian. So yeah, so now I'm on the D Aeolian. Okay. Why does this only go up to 10 here? My thing got... It's not enough space. Oh. It needs to be longer. For crying out loud. Who did this? It's my editor. Messed this up. You don't have an editor. It's Phil. Phil messed it up. Okay. Alright. I do have an editor. Okay. So now, I'm going to say, I have my D, now I have the Aeolian over here. This is position 1, now color-coded with the red on the Aeolian, which is now a D. Cool. So now that same pattern's over here. And then, but I'll do the thing with this open D, because that's what I like to do with my cajon. With my cajon. So I go back this way. Alright. Running long on time here. We're going to say... Yeah. Let's stop it there.